This podcast is proudly brought to you by Paul's Strength Book, an app for everyone. For less than $2 a day, you can have full access to weight training programs, nutrition, recipes, macro calculators, video library, and you can also track all of your metrics including weight, measurements, strength, and performance. Search for Paul's Strength Book in all good app stores now. Hello and welcome to another edition of the Paul's Body Engineering Podcast. This week, once again, running solo, so I hope you can enjoy listening to my voice. I thought this was a really good opportunity to talk about optimizing your health and fitness. And what I mean by that primarily is I've just recently released a couple of new coaching options for people because not everyone needs to check in on a weekly basis, right? And I appreciate that and I understand that. Some people prefer fortnight, some people prefer month. And the reason being is, some people are really good and really diligent with their approach. They're systematic in their weeks. Their lifestyle is really scheduled. They train multiple times a week. They feel that they can trust themselves. Whereas others, particularly those newer to an improvement in health and fitness, feel that they need more touch points, more accountability, more check-ins, more opportunity to communicate, to stay on the straight and narrow and develop those habits that the person doing the monthly check-in already have in place. So that's why I wanted to talk about this. And this podcast episode probably focuses more around the check-in process than anything else because I did do a podcast on the value of check-ins. It would have been a couple of years ago now, just talking about the process in general. But, it's come a long way since then in terms of its evolution. I've also implemented new questions and areas of specialization to focus in and really dive deep into an individual's week. And people often see a check-in as a task or a chore of something they have to do. Similar to when I reference, the task or the chore in relation to training in the gym. If you see your training as a task or a chore, you're looking at it the wrong way and your perspective needs to change. This is similar to a check-in because it gives you an opportunity to improve. It gives you an opportunity to do better. And you shouldn't look at it as a chore. Like, it's a privilege to have the opportunity to check in with a coach. Yes, you're paying a premium for a coach. Yes, you're paying for a coach's service. But the reason you're doing that is to get better, is to optimize your health and fitness, is to look at ways to improve. And by breaking down the check-in process, we're not just looking at how your training was for the week, how your nutrition was for the week. I look so much deeper for all of my lifestyle clients. Contest prep and sort of, the elite level clients that want that really overarching collection of data, go through a different process. This one for lifestyle is very much based around just that. It's their lifestyle. So not only do we look at training, we break down their training performance, their metrics, their frequency, their intensity, but we also look at obviously nutrition. That's a big component, and we know this, right? We look at the individual taking ownership, where they believe their adherence was, what changes we need to make as well. But then we need to go into other avenues, other variables that can have a profound effect on your success. And everyone wants to have success. Everyone wants to live a successful, healthy, fit, strong, happy life, right? Everyone wants to do that. That is the ultimate goal of anyone. If you ask what is the ultimate goal in life, that's pretty much 99% of the answers. So if you've engaged a coach or if you're listening to this and are thinking about it, know that this process may take 5 minutes of your time once a week or fortnight or month, depending on the approach you want to take. But you can learn so much, not only from your coach, in this instance me, but also about yourself. Every time the check-in comes around, it gives you the privileged opportunity to reflect on where you're at, right? So we talk about training, we talk about nutrition, but we also talk about water. Water is so underutilized and so underrated, it's not funny, okay? We need to make sure that we're drinking enough water, and it needs to be in a situation that supports what you do. That's why a customized check-in and a customized approach is vital, because you compared to the next person requires different amounts of water. You might train harder, you might train more frequently, okay? You might do more walking throughout the day, you might be more active, you might play team sport. All of those factors play a role. So water is one. Stress. We know how integral stress can be, okay? You could be the best trainer. You could train 5 days a week, hit your numbers, improve every week, no problem. You could diet perfectly well, hit your numbers, track your calories, be really adherent to a plan that's put in front of you. But if you're stressed to the eyeballs, whether it be personal stress, financial stress, work-related stress, family stress, I don't know, but you're not going to have the success that you want because of that stress. So we talk about factors that can mitigate your stress. How can we manage your stress better? Do we need to implement different strategies around stress management, meditation, ice baths? Do we need to go down the path of implementing the consumption of things like ashwagandha, perfectly natural, but these things do help and alleviate stress. We talk about that. That's part of the check-in process. We also look at sleep. Sleep, again, is an integral part of health success. Unfortunately, we do live in a society, and probably have done so for, I'd say last 5 to 10 years, where hustle, grind was the buzzword around when it came to working, getting ahead, finding success in business, finding financial freedom. You had to hustle. But at what expense? So sleep tended to be sacrificed in this instance. Whereas if you get an appropriate amount of sleep and quality sleep, quality sleep and sleep are two different things, right? Quality sleep is obviously deep REM sleep, recovery, refreshing, reboot, like all of those words come from, quality sleep. If you get that quality sleep, you're going to be significantly more productive, efficient, and aware the very next day because of that fact. Whereas if you just grind out and run off 3, 4, 5 hours of sleep every single night, survive on caffeine, just take on the mindset of just keep going, well, chances are, yes, you're going to be what you deem to be productive, but are you efficient? Probably not. Are you managing time better? Probably not. Are you thinking as clearly and as coherently as you possibly can? Probably not. So we look at ways to implement strategies around sleep, and there's so many simple things that you can do to improve your sleep. There really is. So many things about your sleeping environment, what you do before sleep, what you do during sleep, how you can measure your sleep. So we go into that as well. These check-ins are so comprehensive. They really are. So we spoke about obviously nutrition, training, stress, water, sleep. We also discuss mental health. And look, I'm the first to say that I'm not a mental health expert. I'm not going to give you any significant advice around that other than what I draw from my own experiences. But if I need to refer people on to a professional in any facet, I will. That's something that I need to make clear. But in terms of mental health, I will draw on my own experience. And mental health and stress play a pivotal role, but they also correlate very closely. And if you're then struggling to sleep, it's a vicious cycle, right? If you don't sleep well, you're going to be more emotional the next day. If you're more emotional, your mental health is probably going to be degraded because of that too. So, they all play a pivotal role, but at the same time, if you're highly stressed, chances are you're not going to sleep because you're not going to be able to wind down. So you can see it's very much catch-22. So we speak about mental health. So we look at nutrition, training, mental health, water intake, stress, sleep. Like these are all significant attributes to your success. And if you can slowly but surely over time find subtle ways to improve each and every one of those, it's going to go a long way in setting you up for sustainable success on your health and fitness journey. And as I mentioned at the start, optimizing your health and fitness. It's not going to be an overnight success. It's not going to be a 6-week thing. These check-ins and this process is developed and managed over 10 years of my experience to help someone achieve these goals over time. You've got to be patient. You've got to be in it for the long haul and have the expectation that it's going to take time, but you can find success with more and more improvements each and every week. And that's why the weekly check-in is so important. It gives you that opportunity to reflect. It gives you the opportunity to think, okay, I'm checking in tomorrow. How was my week really? Where did I let myself down? Where can I improve? What did I get right? And that's another thing too. We also celebrate the wins. We celebrate the wins no matter how small or how big they are. I lost a kilo. Fantastic. Let's celebrate that. I got to the gym 5 times. Fantastic. That's amazing. I got to bed at 9 p.m. every single night and got to sleep without issue. Fantastic. We talk about the wins in detail because it should be celebrated. Every time you have a win, that's a building block to more success. That's another opportunity for you to build off, bounce off. And, when people check in, that we often focus on the negatives. Oh, I didn't get enough sleep. I didn't drink enough water. I didn't get to the gym as much as I wanted to. Negative, negative, negative. Let's look at the positives. What did you do right? Not what you did wrong. Let's look at what you did right and use them as building blocks to improve from. You're not going to see overwhelming change in a couple of weeks' time. Like I said, it's going to take time. The implementation of change takes time. That's why the weekly check-in is the most popular one I have, simply because people need it. They need that touch point. They need that regular checkpoint. They need that regular opportunity to reflect, and then they need the feedback that I provide them. And I'll sit here at my desk and go over their check-in in great detail. I'll reference it to how their training's going. I'll reference it to how their nutrition is, and then I'll look at all facets, and I'll come back with advice, guidance, suggestions, recommendations, references to further resources, changes that can be made, implementation of new strategies. I will go to great lengths. And then obviously throughout the week, if there is some pending issues that people are struggling with, I'll touch base, or I open myself up to ongoing communication as well. And further to that, if you need a Zoom call, if you need a face-to-face, that option is there as well. So you can see how people can find success on this journey. They can really find great success if they put themselves first. And that's another thing too. You need to put yourself first. You need to prioritize these things. If at the moment you're floundering with 1 or 2 sessions a week in terms of activity, you're barely getting any steps in, you're the last person to prepare your food every day for the week ahead, well, chances are you're not going to achieve too much success because you're just constantly chasing your tail. Whereas if you rejig that, and that may take some time, there may be some strategies that we can discuss that will work in your favor to help you implement a bit of change over time, and then some more change, and then some more change, and then 6 months from now, 12 months from now, that change becomes part of your life. And that's the ultimate goal for me, right? The ultimate goal is to implement change with someone and help them improve so that they create some sustainable habits long term, that their week is just that. It is a new lifestyle. The gym is a non-negotiable. Their nutrition planning is a non-negotiable. Their stress and sleep management is a non-negotiable. Their water intake and hitting that target is a non-negotiable. We talk about all those things, and they play such a pivotal role in you achieving success. That's why I've had clients for so long. I've had clients for several years now, and many of them have never missed a check-in other than maybe like a Christmas week, or if they've gone away on holidays. And you know what? The ones that are truly dedicated, that want to see their health continually improve and optimized, will check in even if they go away. Now, if it's a holiday, I'd say no problem. If you don't want to check in, that's fine. But I give them the option. And some of them will check in. They might just send me a message, say, hey, I'm checking in. I'm not going to do the formal check-in this week because I am away. I don't have my scales with me, but I've trained, I've sourced a gym, I'm eating really well, I'm active, I'm swimming, I'm getting sunshine, all these sorts of things. And I think, fantastic. Look at you. You're on holidays, but you're still aware of your health and fitness. A lot of people will message me in advance to say, look, I'm going away for work for 3 or 4 days. I won't be checking in. And my question back to them immediately is, why? You're still going to somewhere that will have a gym. You just need to research in advance. There's still supermarkets. There's still grocery stores. Your hotel room may have a microwave. It may have a kitchenette. It may have a full kitchen. Not too sure. These things are still able to be done simply off the back of your discipline. So we talk about that. And when they realize, they go, oh, yeah, actually, you know what? You're right. Straight away, we've mitigated the opportunity for them to eat loosely, drink more alcohol, not train for 3 or 4 days. They come back feeling amazing, and they're straight back into it once they return. And that's that healthy habit and that routine that I was talking about. So you can see the benefits of check-in. They can significantly influence the way you look at life. And if you want significant improvement, if you're sick and tired of floundering, carrying more weight than you feel you should, you constantly feel lethargic, you have no clue around nutrition, you want to learn more, but you don't know where to start, this is the process for you. You can start off small, aim big. There's no pressure on you to make significant change, and nor should you have that pressure on yourself either. And that's something we can discuss in an initial consultation. We take the pressure off, we look for subtle changes and improvements that can be implemented straight away, and we build off that. And that's how we get success, and that's how you will get success. So I think I've explained the check-in process pretty thoroughly. And, depending on the individual, as I said at the start, if you need that additional accountability, or if you want to go through a dieting phase, a mini cut, or anything like that, then the week-to-week check-in is for you. If you feel you're more on top of things, you understand nutrition better, but you just want a touch point every second week, then the fortnightly one. If you're really across things and all you need is maybe a program update, a 4-week assessment of your nutrition, then the monthly would be the go. If you've got a training plan in place that you really like, then maybe you just need nutritional coaching. All of these aspects are there for everybody. So it caters for every single individual that wants to see improvement. It's just a matter of you identifying which one. And if you're not sure, then reach out. Let's book in a free consultation and have a chat because, that may nut out where you currently sit, and there's no harm in you changing between them after 6 months or 12 months as well, just depending on where you're at that point in time. So I think that covers everything, but you can see the value of a check-in. You can see how important it is, and you can see how much you can actually get out of it, not only from the advice and the resource that is your coach, but also from the opportunity for you to reflect, the opportunity for you to learn, the opportunity for you to further educate yourself. I cannot stress that enough, that is a prevalent part of this entire process. The more you learn, the better you set yourself up for success. Now, on a separate note, for those that do listen to these podcasts, I'm looking for a sponsor. I would love for a sponsor to come on board and support the podcast and have an opportunity to present their product or their service on here on a regular basis. And we can utilize their business and market their business on a regular basis, not only on the podcast, but also through my own social media as well. So if anyone's listening to this and would like to invest in that as an opportunity for marketing, as an opportunity to share their business, their service, their product, please get in touch and let me know straight away, because I think this opportunity will go pretty quick. But for now, thank you once again for tuning in. Thank you once again for being a loyal listener. And thank you once again for learning and taking the opportunity to learn on this platform. So if you've enjoyed this podcast, please screenshot and share it. Tag myself at Paul's Body Engineering. I cannot stress or state how important that is for my little fledgling business. And obviously the success of the podcast. So please take the time to screenshot the podcast, put it on your stories, post it, tag myself, away you go. Now, if you're interested in any of the coaching services I mentioned, or if you'd like to discuss anything else, please jump on my website, paulsbodyengineering.com, or alternatively, jump on Instagram, click the link in bio, and all of the information is there for you to have a look at. But once again, as I finish up, I want to thank everyone very much for tuning in as always. And as I say to every client, every single day, have a great day.